This is the Insta360 Ace Pro 2, and this is the GoPro Hero 13. And now that DJI has released the Action 6, let's go test and compare and see which one of these flagship action cameras might be the right camera for you. And just so we're clear, I bought and paid for the GoPro Hero 13. The Ace Pro 2 was sent to me from Insta360, and the Action 6 was sent to me by DJI. But other than that, no money has changed hands. Now, the way I'm conducting this video is all of them are going to run in auto, and for the most part, I'm just running them all in the normal color profile, because I think that's how most people will want to utilize these cameras. Now, one of the big differences between the Action 6, the GoPro, and the Ace Pro 2 is that the Action 6 and the GoPro both have a 10-bit log color profile that allows you to color grade it to match to other cameras. It's extra work in post, but if you want to do that, you absolutely can. The GoPro also has GoPro Labs, which allows you to get much higher bit rates. If you want to, it's kind of experimental, but you can get up to 300 megabits a second. So if you want all that extra detail, especially if you're doing things like FPV, downhill ski chasing or something like that, that does give you extra detail. It just gets a little bit better detail, especially in the fine details of like tree leaves or gravel, snow flying around, stuff like that. Now, the Ace Pro 2 doesn't offer any 10-bit color profiles. It does have a log color profile, but it's 8-bit, so it's a little bit limited on what you can do. But it does have HDR as well. The GoPro also has an HDR mode. And honestly, like, if you're using these in normal color profile in auto settings, which I think is how most people would use these kind of cameras, like, all three of them do give you really good image quality. It's solid. It looks great out of camera. Like, colors are pretty accurate. Overall, I would say, I don't know if I would say the GoPro is the more accurate color, but the big tell for me is always this jacket. This jacket is kind of an orange red. It's very bright and somewhat annoying, but it works for what I do. And this is where cameras will struggle sometimes, is reproducing the color of this jacket. After looking at this footage, all three cameras actually did really well. I think the edge goes to the Action 6 because that is actually closest to the annoying bright red color that my jacket is. But they all did actually really well. For some reason, the GoPro white balance seems a little it makes everything look a little brownish in the sky and on the snow and stuff. Not sure why that is. As far as resolution of these cameras, all three of these cameras film 4K 60, 4K 120 if you want to, HD 240 if you want to, for slow motion stuff. But for the standard resolution, GoPro has 5.3K up to 60 frames a second, which looks good and like gives you some pretty great looking video. The Action 6 is 4K, 60 frames a second, or up to 120 frames a second if you want to. But the Ace Pro 2 has what they're saying is 8K. So currently I'm filming in the highest resolution of all three cameras. Do you see much of a difference in these little like branches behind me here? Because you should, if the Ace Pro 2 is producing actual 8K footage, which it does seem to do, but coming out of a very small camera like this, it's a little harder to tell when it comes to, you know, those super small, fine, minute details. Slow motion is where these cameras get a lot more complicated, I guess I could say. The Ace Pro 2 has HD up to 240 frames a second. It has 4K up to 120 frames a second. The Action 6 has 4K up to 120 frames a second and HD up to 240 frames a second. The GoPro Hero 13 has 4K up to 120 frames a second and HD up to 240 frames a second. But then there's some weird little trickery here. The GoPro can do these hyper slow motion things, and I would try and show you some of that, but most everything is frozen right now in Alaska, so I can't. So this is other footage that I've shot with the GoPro, but it will give you some very high frame rates to get you some very, very slow motion. You have very limited amounts of time you can film in those frame rates. It's very cropped in and you lose quite a bit of dynamic range. Now, all three of these cameras offer this sort of 8x7 mode on the GoPro and free frame video on the Ace Pro 2, and then this new 1x1 mode on the Osmo Action 6. And what this is doing is giving you the most amount of space you can have on the camera, on the sensor, to be able to reframe it in post, either for vertical and horizontal content either one. You can frame for both out of the same shot, which is really nice. Now GoPro did this first, actually. What, I don't know, it was like on the GoPro Hero 12, I think. I'm on the Hero 13 right now. The Action 6 added it this year, which is great, and then the Ace Pro 2 has had it, I think, for almost a year, maybe a little over a year since it was released. I don't remember if there were cameras with it before that or not, but it is really useful if you're a social media content creator, create social media stuff for brands where you can film both vertical and horizontal video at the same time and not have to redo anything, and then you just reframe it in post to either horizontal or vertical video. It is starting to get dark. We'll be able to test low light real soon. Now, all three of these cameras have a lot of different options for various fields of view. Right now, you're looking at all the cameras in the linear mode, so the least warped, the kind of the most cropped in. Although both the Action 6 and the Ace Pro 2 both have a punch-in mode where you can get a 2x crop on the sensor and still get a full 4K readout. 4K 60 on both, 2x cropped in on the sensor. Which one looks better? I tried to match them up. Both of them are on a low sharpness setting and all of that. So yeah, I'm curious to see. The one thing about this is that you do lose the HDR mode on the Ace Pro 2, but the Action 5, I guess the HDR mode, you can't turn it on or turn it off. It just sort of exists as it is. And now you're looking at all three of these cameras in their wide field of view. So definitely a little bit wider. But the lines, at least on the Action 6 and the Ace Pro 2, are still fairly straight, not super warped. I can't really tell on the GoPro. I think they're pretty straight still, but all these cameras have much wider fields of view as well. And now you're looking at all three of these cameras in the next widest field of view, which on the GoPro is super view, and the Action 6 is wide. Wide. And on the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 is also on the wide, or I think it's called Ultra. And now this is all three of these cameras in their widest fields of view. Very wide, you can see the lines are starting to bow and distort a little bit. But if you're into really good POV shots for biking or motovlogging on motorcycles or action sports like skiing, all of that kind of stuff, then this is a great field of view. And it's kind of nice that all three cameras offer it. They look pretty similar, at least from what I can tell on the little tiny screens. And that brings us to audio. Now, this is the internal audio of all of these cameras. So right now you're hearing the GoPro Hero 13 and its internal microphones. They sound pretty good, a little bit dull. It's kind of like a raw audio that you need to work with in post. And then this is the Action 6, almost said Action 5. But it has its internal microphones as well. They've been pretty good, pretty crisp, clean sounding. And then this is the Ace Pro 2 audio, which I will say that even when I tested the Ace Pro 2 when it first came out, and I was pretty critical about it, the audio was exceptional. And a lot of that is Insta360 has done a lot of work on that, but it also has this little wire basket in front of the mic, and so it works and gets you really clean audio, even in pretty substantial wind compared to the other cameras. But all three of these cameras can also work with external Bluetooth microphones. So this is the Insta360 Mic Air, which I'm super glad they added the option for this. It is a direct connection to the Ace Pro 2 or to the X5 or the Go Ultra and maybe one other camera. But these little microphones will give you really, really clean sound, even in incredibly high wind. And now this is the Action 6 with the DJI Mic 3. You can also use a Mic 2 or a Mic Mini with this, and all three will direct connect to the Action 6. The difference here is that the Action 6 will pair to up to 2 microphones, and I believe it's the only camera that does that right now. And so you could actually have 2 different people on a little wireless microphone, which is very useful if you do a lot of vlogging with a partner or something like that. And this is the GoPro Hero 13 with the DJI Mic 3 paired via Bluetooth. But there's an issue here, is that GoPro is using Bluetooth direct connection. So it's fine, it just has very limited bandwidth, which accounts for why it sounds so crunchy and low bandwidth, almost like you're talking through an old school telephone. I can't believe I'm saying old school telephones, but yeah, there you go. So when it comes to low light, these all take a little bit different approach. Insta360 has this AI chip built into the Ace Pro 2 that includes there and brings to life the pure video mode, which gives you pretty incredible low light performance out of an action camera. And then DJI has their super night mode, but Coupled with the Action 6, the fact that it has a variable aperture and will go down to f2, that gives you a whole extra stop of light, or doubling the amount of light you're able to get into the camera, which is incredible. So it also has incredibly good low light performance out of any action camera that I've ever seen. GoPro, on the other hand, is falling behind pretty substantially when it comes to low light. Now, they've never claimed to be a great low light camera. They've never really kind of gone after being a low light camera. They've been more high action in great daylight, sunlight, sports type of camera. So yeah, it also uses the smallest sensor out of the three, so you get pretty limited low light and pretty noisy low light as well. Now, all three of these cameras do have optional extra lenses. The GoPro offers a close macro lens, just like the Action 6 does and the Ace Pro 2 does. It also has a cinematic lens or an anamorphic lens, and I believe there's an ultra wide lens. I don't have any of those lenses. The Action 6 now offers the close focus distance lens, which is what I'm using right now, the macro lens. And then they also offer a super ultra wide, uber wide angle lens. The Ace Pro 2 has 3 different lenses that you can add now. The macro lens that I'm using right now, and the cinematic lens or anamorphic lens, as well as an ultra wide lens as well. So if you want to add extra lenses, there are actually quite a few options now to do that. The one caveat is that if you add those lenses, you will lose all waterproofness of the cameras. They are no longer watertight, waterproof, so you can't run around with them in rain or put them underwater or anything like that. But when it comes to the macro lenses, which I really like because it does kind of give you a little bit of a blurry background, makes it nice, there is a little bit of an interesting difference between the Ace Pro 2 and the Action 6. The Ace Pro 2 offers focus peaking in camera, so you'll see it on the screen. I don't know, it's not, I mean, it's accurate, but it's not super accurate. Also, it's not a super macro lens either, so it's not quite as crucial. Where the DJI Action 6 offers it focus peaking through the app. Now, both of them have markings on the lenses where they're kind of like super close or farther away. And so, but it is, because you're using such a small screen, it is a bit of a challenge to try and find that like perfect critical focus. But it is nice when you do find it. And that brings us to some of the other things like size and weight and battery life and stuff like that. Out of all of these, the GoPro has the worst battery life, especially in the cold. Now, Insta360 says the Ace Pro 2 is capable of about 3 hours, 180 minutes at 1080 24 FPS. In the cold, I found it got fairly close to about 2 hours, and I was testing at fairly cold temperatures, like single digits Fahrenheit, so well below 0 Celsius. The Osmo Action 6 gets about 4 hours at 1080p 24 FPS. And even as cold as what DJI says is minus 20°C, which is about the temperature I was testing it at. And yeah, I gotta say the Action 6, I feel like got the best battery life out of any of these cameras. And from past experience, the Action series has done phenomenally well in extremely cold temperatures, even as low as -40, both Celsius and Fahrenheit. Now, aside from the Action 6 being the only one of these, actually the only action camera that has a variable aperture from f2 to f4, it also has this color temperature sensor, which the Action series has had for, I think, 2 or 3 generations now, but this really helps you get a very accurate white balance. And I did notice it in a few shots where the Action 6 got a fantastic white balance and had a great exposure, and that's largely thanks to this little sensor here. I would say the Ace Pro 2 was a very close second. It actually did really well setting white balance and getting a good exposure, and followed by a little bit of a distance. Depending on the conditions you're shooting in, the GoPro came in definitely third. The other difference that's a big difference between all of these cameras is charging them. The Ace Pro 2 and the Action 6 both offer this quick charge mode where they will charge up to like 80% in about 20 minutes or so. They vary a little bit between the two of them. The GoPro still charges at the slowest USB rate that it charges, and so it will take you at least an hour to recharge the battery on the GoPro Hero 13, which is really unfortunate. Now, out of the 3 of these, the Ace Pro 2 is definitely the largest and the thickest, but that's also because with GoPro and Action 6, you have this forward-facing screen. The Ace Pro 2 has this flip-out screen, which is much larger and much brighter, but I think like that's probably just more a preference of how you want to use the cameras and what you want to do with them. All three of them offer apps for your phone and will connect fairly quickly and allow you to remote control various aspects of the camera. All of them also include the option to be able to edit in-app if you want to. And Insta360 and GoPro both offer a cloud service. But for me, I hope you enjoyed this video because these types of videos take a lot of work, a lot of time to shoot and edit them and try and get as much of the comparison accurate as possible. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Next, you're going to want to watch this video right here. If you have questions, let me know in the comments below, or you can join my live stream, which happens most Wednesday nights at 4 p.m. Alaska time, 8 p.m. Eastern. We can have more of a conversation and I can answer questions that, I don't know, maybe I didn't get to in this video, which probably there are a lot. I'll see you again soon in the next one. Cheers.